All right, friends. All right, foes. Another exciting day here. I'm happy to be alive, healthy, and sound, and able to bring you back around on another exciting episode of Rabbit Punched. That's right, folks. This beats the long walks on the beach. And, well, honestly, that's really about it because I just don't like walking on the beach. I think it has a little bit to do with sand. I mean, I'm not really fond of sand. I think maybe it's like the Dark Lord of the Sith in me. I don't know. But I do want to thank all my loving fans and emails that I've gotten since we started this show, and including one that my producer, Petey, prepped for me. And it's Petey, you got that right? Okay. Yeah, he's ready. It reads, "Hey, Angel, you can go back to Cuba, you louse." Oh, okay. No, Petey, I'm not reading this. I mean, seriously? Okay. Oh, he says he's sorry, guys. He says this came from the hate pile. Petey, please, no more hate pile. Okay, the loving mail. What do I? Oh, I'm sorry, guys. There's nothing on the love mail folder. So, well, before I go and I just started crying, I'm gonna hand the baton off to my next in charge here, the next gentleman who's gonna take the baton. You know, the one and only. He is very tight, very well-groomed, a little festively plump. The one and only Gerald Holcomb. Take it away, my good friend.
Thank you, Angel.
God, that took forever, man. Let's go.
We let him have some leeway, just like I get, and I want to thank everyone who's tuning into another episode of Rabbit Punched. And this is, like I just alluded to with Spud, this is a show that allows me to speak my mind on the events of the day, which is really refreshing because I'm muzzled in my position of co-host on the Spud Goodman Show. And here, I'm not constrained by the political correctness of the show staff on this program. And I want you to know, I can proclaim I'm going to say it, my love for our true president, Donald Trump, and not be considered unhinged or mentally challenged. Really, most intelligent Americans know that he won the 2020 election in a massive landslide, probably over 30 to 40 million votes. But the fact that he's now waiting and ready to resume his presidency. Spud, I see you shaking your head, and you can't, but to me, it's very comforting. He's not forgotten us. He still loves us very much. Well, most of us. I assume he's probably not a big fan of Spud Goodman, as you, Spud, have not been very supportive of him over the years. Actually, ever since he came down that escalator in 2015, you began to say mean things about him, and I know deep inside your heart,
guilty.
I know you regret not supporting him and his Make America Great Again efforts. Spud, it's not too late to jump on the Trump train. There's plenty of room. What do you say?
No, thank you, is what I first respond. That was my first response. I would rather walk 10 miles on hot burning coals. Okay? He's a disgusting human being, or at least I believe he's human. Anyway, regardless, he is an asshole, all right? This is a man who has never apologized to anyone in his adult lifetime.
He hasn't needed to.
Who can get away with that? In the past, you've questioned why I hold such personal animus, towards this guy. Well, as you know, I interviewed him back in the 90s, and he was just as creepy back then as now with that smarmy timeshare salesman smile. In fact, let's show a really brief clip of that interview now, as it might explain why I think he was and still is such a weasel.
Is there any genetic connection to becoming a successful businessman? I mean, can a son from a total loser father ever make it? Because we're talking about my dad who blew my college fund at the track in one afternoon on a 30-to-1 shot. I mean, is it possible to get beyond the genetics in a family?
I think it is. I think it really is. And I think you're a good case because from what I see, you're doing terrifically well.
Well, thank you very much.
But most importantly, have a good time because I have to get running. I got 400 people waiting online.
I'm picking up a vibe that Donald here is not exactly excited to be on my show. I mean, I suppose I shouldn't rain on his parade and tell him I only counted 7 people waiting in line to get his book autographed. And I don't want to get technical, but I don't think a miniature poodle counts, so make that 6.
long-term goals, President, King. I mean, you can do anything.
Just want to keep it going. Have a good time.
Thank you
nice
very
seeing
much.
you, my friend.
So that took place at a bookstore signing of his, and to further support my position, I will share this. Afterwards I spoke to the manager, and she said he repulsed all of her staff within minutes after arriving. He's that much of an asshole.
Yes.
Huh. Gerald, correct me if I'm wrong here. He said but this was 20 years ago. I mean, do you not understand that people grow and, they evolve, they change? I mean, not everybody stays stuck in the same mentality, my brother, from another mother.
Yeah, and he changed for the better, huh, Angel?
I mean, of course. What was it, like 3 years of record unemployment going down. I mean, the economics.
The trajectory that started on the Obama administration just kept going and still going much. Well, the market's at the all-time high right now. So, yeah. So much for the economy's going to crash when Biden takes office. I just want to say that. Continue, Angel.
You're talking about the trajectory that Donald Trump started?
No, Barack Obama started.
Thank you.
After the collapse of what Bush left him. But anyway, continue, Angel.
Here's the thing, Spud. You can say all these things and you can repeat all these things, but they're just not true. I mean, when you look at the facts, and look, I'm a person of facts and science. And when you look at the facts, well, we know how science works with the left, but I'm not going there. But I'm a man of facts and I'm a man of science. And the fact is, the first 3 years under Trump, the economy was doing fantastic. We had, again, record number of unemployment was down across the board from us Latinos, the African American community. Everybody was doing good, and the only people that were protesting were you guys. How many impeachments were, like 6?
There should have been. But hey, let's just get the show started. My attention deficit disorder is kind of kicking in right now. What's the first topic we're going to discuss?
First topic, is Joe Biden A, communist, B, a Marxist, or C, just a socialist? What do you guys think?
Well,
you go first, and go ahead.
Yeah. Let me say, Angel, I myself, I don't see any reason to doubt that Joe Biden is a member of the Communist Party. I mean, he served as vice president under Barack Obama. I don't know if Kenya is communist or a socialist country. Maybe it's both. But I'll tell you this, after 8 years of being around that kind of influence, he now has to be a card-carrying member of some kind of leftist party.
These guys, they make millions of dollars. Really? They're smart as hell.
That's all you got?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. Spud, I'll say this. If Joe Biden wasn't a member of the Communist Party, don't you think he would just come out and say it? He could schedule a press conference and announce to the whole country that he's not beholden to the teachings of Joseph Stalin or Chairman Mao from China. And here's another obvious clue to his true beliefs. As you know, Joe Biden continues to extol the wonders of unions. Well, as most are aware, unions are the building blocks of communism. They go hand in hand. And a neighbor of mine, who I will not name, but he's the shop steward at his warehouse. And I'll tell you what, word around our block, this gentleman, well, let me just say, he's not like most of us. He watches a lot of those movies with subtitles, foreign films.
Yeah, I know those folks.
Yeah, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it.
Okay.
But what if we all got back to watching what we did growing up, being entertained by good old true American movies like Westerns or funny ones? That's why so many movie and TV stars are behind Donald Trump. He wants to make Hollywood great again, too. And last point I'll make, I read on the internet.
I hope it's the last point.
This is my last point on this topic. I read on the internet that Joe Biden, while he was in college, spent a summer traveling around Sweden, or it could have been Switzerland. But either way, we know about these socialist countries. They have free everything there. They have free healthcare, free childcare, free elder care, free college, everything, every kind of care you want. And I got to tell you, it's disgusting.
It'd be actually.
Yeah, I sure hope that care thing doesn't catch on over here in this country. My God.
Me too.
You know, that's just going to take me too long. Joe Biden is not a communist, Marxist, or socialist, okay?
I disagree.
Well, I got to say, I think he's all of the above. I think he's all of the above because he is whatever they pay him enough to be. That's what he's going to be. He's like the perfect candidate for like the human puppet syndrome. He'll, play to any field as long as you pay his son Hunter enough. I find it kind of funny how his name
you had to
Hunter.
get the Hunter. Yeah,
That's a good point.
We're like, I don't know how many minutes in we are, but anyway, let me respond here. I think some people in certain cable news outlets need to look up the term socialist in the dictionary, because if I had $1 for every time some doofus pulls out that line that socialists in Germany were responsible for World War II, I could afford a much nicer apartment. There's so many people that you check the internet. Some doofuses on chat rooms and stuff. I mean, yeah, Hitler was a member of the National Socialist German Workers' Party, but it was a far right political organization. I don't think that party was a big backer of free daycare. I'm getting upset.
Gerald,
I got to keep it down. Daycare.
You're gonna have a heart attack there, Spud. Gerald, I do find it funny how they, the left loves to say stuff like, "Oh, remember there was a big switch in the parties when it benefits them, but when it doesn't, they say, oh yeah, well Hitler was a Republican."
Nobody's
Angel, did you
never
notice
said Hitler was a Republican.
Spud's giving you a hard time about bringing up Hunter Biden. He said, "How long did it take you to bring up? How long did it take Spud to make the transition to Hitler?" We're talking about Donald Trump, and in less than 4 minutes, here's Hitler.
Didn't use the Trump reference to Hitler. I was saying how socialism, how the name has been, let's just say, misused. But anyway, let me just say
I think
this.
It was implied.
If Joe Biden was in fact a true Marxist, he would have backed free hair care, replacement free, up top here. If I take my hat, I don't have time to take my hat off, but anyway, because so many of us could get our love lives back. Having a full head of hair is a game changer. With online dating pictures, and most men want and deserve this, but Joe Biden knows this. But guess what? Even though he knows how popular it would be, he's not going to give it to us, and that's clear proof that he's not a Marxist. All right, he wants the private sector to deal with our hair issues, like he did with his own transplant. The man is a capitalist through and through, which is not a good thing, for all of us hair challenge voters, regardless of what party we're.
This is why the great Rush Limbaugh, rest in peace, referred to him as plugs.
Hey, whatever.
It wasn't a very good transplant.
He paid for it by himself without government getting involved, okay? So you can't say he's a Marxist or a socialist or a communist.
Well,
it's ridiculous.
This is, again, from the party that wants, for people that are in the Army now who feel like they've, lived in the wrong body to, make that change once they get out of the Army on taxpayer money.
Yeah.
And as we know, Donald Trump wasn't too fond of that. And because of that, I guess, he's got a new phobia to deal with. Jesus.
Yeah, well, let me just say this, and this is to close my case with the Biden socialist issue. I think the big reason why people pull these terms out is they're just, people on your side are just jealous that most people like him. They trust him. Like say to dog sit for them if they had to go out of town for the weekend, or that it just must make you guys, you Trump supporters, so envious because
who are these people?
Well, let's just say this. None of you would trust Donald Trump with anything on a personal basis, or with anything important, because he's a screw up, multi-bankruptcies, bad marriages, and a serial groper. No way, be honest about this, no way any of you would trust him to drive your daughter at any age, anywhere. I rest my case. All right, I
wouldn't trust Joe Biden to
he just
take my
sniffs
daughter
hair.
anywhere.
He sniffs hair. He's not a serial groper. But let's bring our guest on.
Well, I don't know about all that, but let's get our guest on. I think that's a good idea, because now we're going to be here forever, and we know how much Spud loves to dish it out on Donald Trump, on Joe.
Oh yeah,
my patriotic duty.
All right, friends, welcome back. And let me tell you, my friend coming up now, it's somebody who loves pizza, burgers, Taco Tuesdays, and just like the rest of us, he puts his pants on one leg at a time, kind of like Christopher Walken. He is my Jewish brother from another mother. He loves the power, loves the fame, but mostly he loves that free food that he gets at the events that he hosts most of the time. And let me tell you something. This man I've known for almost 18 years. And at one point, he was the other guy on my own show, Skywatchers Radio. And I'm sure he has a lot to say about what's going on right now with, Israel and everything in the news. So I want to welcome my good friend, my heterosexual radio life mate, the one and only Seth Weiler. Seth, welcome to the show, my friend.
Thanks. I really appreciate it. And it's great to see you since I haven't seen you in God knows how long. And good only to meet you, Spud, because I've only heard good things about you from Angel. So.
All right. Super. All right. Angel, you got the first question. Let's do it.
Yeah. And I've been dying to ask Seth this, and we're going to get into a whole lot of stuff, Seth. But I really wanted to get to this before you tell Spud anything about yourself or about what's going on over in Israel. I want you to tell everybody how cool it was and amazing it was to, be my co-host on Skywatchers Radio.
Oh, it was a fun thing to do. It was amazing. We had some really amazing hosts. From you doing the production to you actually talking online as well too, and for the podcast.
Is he paying you to say this stuff? I'm just curious.
No. By the way, did Angel ever tell you that we were also an opening gig for Art Bell for a while there when he came back to the to doing shows?
Super.
Yeah. I don't know if you mentioned that, but that was a cool thing.
I'm a fan of Art. I was big fan of Art Bell.
Yeah, it's a shame he passed on. Otherwise, Angel and I might have been famous. Oh well.
Yeah. Well, Gerald, you got a question. What is it?
Yes. Thank you, Spud. So, as an expert on the current state of affairs in Israel, if Benjamin Netanyahu ever steps down as prime minister, would he be interested in coming here and joining the Republican Party? Maybe run for the Senate, possibly against Mitt Romney or Lisa Murkowski? We could use his undying love for Donald Trump in this country.
Well, personally, I'm no real expert on all the Middle East affairs, but I will say a few things about it. First off, people out there really, really need to understand there's a real true difference between Israeli as a person that lives there that's in that nation and being Jewish, which is a religion. And for some reason, there are people out there that can't separate the two. There are tons of Christian Israelis. There's tons of Muslim Israelis, Sikh and Hindu Israelis as well, too. Why can't people realize there's a difference between nations and religions? I just don't get why people don't understand this for some godforsaken reason. When it comes to whether Netanyahu is going to be available, who knows? Will he get indicted for some of the things people say he allegedly did? I don't know. Will he actually, and how long is he going to stay in power? I've got no clue either. Right. While I'm not an expert in that aspect, there are some things I will say I am an expert. I have been a victim of anti-Semitism in the past, and I do see it happen. And because of what I've done for a living and traveling across the country, I've got some real interesting, funny, yet scary stories out there as well, too.
I bet you do. Well, Seth, I know one is not supposed to appropriate others' cultures, but if I did, it would have to be the Jewish culture, all right?
Why? Because you get all those days off?
No, I could just relate to it. Maybe it's the healthy cynicism, that works for me. I don't know. But I was looking back, a few years ago when those tiki torch ex-frat boy Nazi dudes, whether they were in Charlottesville, were yelling, "Jews will not replace us." It really bothered me, and I know it bothered millions and millions of others. So here's my question, how do conservative Jewish people reconcile the fact that these people are a part of the MAGA base? I mean, they're there.
Well, my probable answer to that is that while they are a part of the base, they aren't the majority of the base, I would think, and I would hope. There's enough other people that are out there that are proud Trump supporters, yet are still not anti-Semitic. I mean, hell, Trump's daughters become a Orthodox Jew to make her husband happy, and because she chose and wanted to do that as well too. Trump definitely is an anti-Semitic if he's got a daughter that's actually an Orthodox Jew, don't you think?
That's a good point.
Yeah, got to.
I'm just going to let that one go. I could respond.
Take the L, Spud. Take the L on that one.
I'm going to defer to you on that. Okay, all right.
I mean, there's a small percentage out of the entire base of Trump supporters. I hope it's less than 1% of 1%. Who knows? I don't have a calculator. I'm not taking a poll because the polls are rigged anyway. But who knows what real percentage there is that are true anti-Semites and those people that are just trying to blend in and feel and say things so they can fit in.
Well, on a related note, do you feel uncomfortable with, say, the backing of conservative evangelicals? It kind of seems like they have a string attached to their support. It appears that they're kind of hoping that they can have their end of days sooner rather than later, which would not be good news for Israel. That's just really creepy.
Well, I would say yes and no to that, because if you look at the evangelicals out there, all of them actually support Israel as a whole because it is the promised land for them as well. So
but they want that end of day speeded up, though. You got to admit that. I mean, they want it on fast forward.
Well, they want to. You know what? Someone posted this really funny meme up on Facebook where they took a whole bunch of inflatable dolls. I'm not saying what kind of them, but filled them with helium and set them up and let them float up in the air right in front of a whole evangelical church. It was the funniest thing. They thought the rapture was happening. I mean, that's real comedy there.
Seth, I really want to know, who do you think is a better hookup for the kids of America right now as a role model? Okay, Ivanka Trump or Chelsea Clinton?
I would probably have to say Ivanka Trump for multiple reasons. Firstly, she stands on her own with her own businesses. Chelsea apparently is in her mom's NGO or charitable organization, apparently earning an exorbitant amount of money, and I'm still not sure what she's doing for it. Ivanka, on the other hand, has been in the business world for multiple years and can stand on her own 2 feet. As a role model, that's who I would probably lean towards.
All right.
If Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her.
Gerald, you're up. So
Yeah. Seth, I would like to know, when the end days do come and Jesus returns somewhere in Israel, will he be welcomed? I hope he won't be turned away for lodging once again. You know, the no vacancy thing.
Okay, here's my personal philosophy on when the Messiah comes. I'm hoping, so we all get along in the future, what you perceive as the second coming, we hopefully will perceive as the first coming, and the Muslims will see that one of their prophets showed up again. That way, hopefully, we could all play well with each other and all get along with each other, and we all live happily ever after. But what I'm really worried about is that he's already been here. The problem is nobody took him seriously, and he's in some mental facility somewhere because how many people out there have claimed themselves to be Napoleon, Jesus, or some other character, Joan of Arc, or they were reincarnated as Cleopatra or something out there.
All right. Well, that's pretty deep. Okay. All right. Well, I'll make this last my other question really quick. If Donald Trump. Yeah, if Donald Trump cannot run for office again in 2024, please, for some reason, like, I don't know, maybe being incarcerated, who would you like to see run? And who would the white nationalists and militia members of America vote for? There's a lot of mini Trumps out there. Is there anybody that you think has the best shot?
You know, I honestly, I really, really don't know, but I would think what would be a really, really funny situation, but they'd have to cross party lines. I'd like to see Jeb Bush take another stab at it, and Bernie Sanders as the VP. And here's my logic on this. Either together they'll fix everything, or they'll kill each other. It's one or the other.
I like that.
Yeah, all right.
Either they'll fix it all together by crossing party lines, or they'll end up killing each other. It's one or the other.
All right. Well, hey, I know you got to go, so I want to thank you so much for coming on our show. Angel?
I'm shocked at that answer.
You still got to thank him. You don't take it for granted.
I'm shocked at that answer, but Seth, it doesn't. It shouldn't have shocked me knowing you for this long.
Well, it's very outside the box, but you think about it, and what they both stand for. Either they'll find a way to work with each other, or they're going to end up killing each other. And either way, we win.
Well, it could be a win-win situation. Look, man, thank you so much for joining us. All right. Now, second topic. January 6th, does that even need a commission?
Yeah.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Why would this be necessary? The supposed insurrection that the liberals are constantly harping on. I got to tell you, I didn't see it. January 6th was just a gathering that got a little too boisterous. It's not a crime to show your support for the president. He has 75 million voters who love him.
I think it's 74,222,958 votes. Why do you guys always round up to 75 million? You hear that on Fox all the time. 75 million this, 75 million that. Don't you remember in grade school? You round down if it's below 5, so it's 74 million.
I prefer to round up, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I'm a roundup type of guy myself also. And
that's a surprise.
Well, it is what it is. I know that you have your own way of thinking here, but the honest truth is, you got to admit, for a guy who ran a campaign where he was locked in a basement all summer, to get 80 million votes, there's something a little suspicious on that. I mean, you got to be real.
Like him. I guess how I got it, because people like him.
He didn't. He didn't. And if I can add, Angel,
yes,
about this commission, it's just not needed. What we're really talking about here is, in essence, a block party that got a little too energetic. And my gosh, President Trump did not order his supporters to enter the House chambers and urinate on Speaker Pelosi's desk. These things happen when there are not enough porta potties made available for tourists.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Also, Spud, contrary to what CNN and MSNBC continue to say, those tourists on January 6th did not want to actually hang Mike Pence. They were chanting about hanging a much more flattering portrait of Mike Pence in the West Wing of the White House, because the one that is hanging there now is subpar in the estimation of some. Way too jowly is what I've heard. I'm not sure about it, but that's what I read on Breitbart about this so-called riot story.
I think they were really yelling, "No hanging Chads," and people just started going with the whole, hang Mike Pence. It's
Going
really
back to
no
the
hanging Chads.
2000, yeah. I'll tell you what, Angel, the next thing you know, some liberal will try to ban future Trump rallies, as most are going to be held in fairgrounds or airport hangars. No one needs to be worried about more peeing or pooping incidents that unfortunately occurred in the Capitol Rotunda. There will be an adequate number of porta potties on the site, so they'll have safe and sanitary gatherings from now on. People need to take it down a notch and just let Trump be Trump.
You suck! Yeah, well, I think if I went to any future Trump rallies, I would for sure wear a cup. Because you never know. Someone might kick you in the nuts if you're not screaming loud enough for their dear leader. Yeah. Anyway, so let me blow through this. Let me get this done, because I have some thoughts here. Let's delve into the Fox News, Breitbart, and all the right-wing media sites. Their talking points on what happened on January 6th. Yeah, the first, the second, and the third points of emphasis was it was those darn Antifas who terrorized the Capitol, that they just went out and, bought all the Trump gear they could find online in the dollar stores and just headed to D.C. on 1/6. Well, hey, I also heard on Hannity's show that there were clandestine Antifa training centers around the country where, they taught them, full makeover tips to pull off being fake Trump supporters, hair, makeup, and proper logo displays of various hate themes. I mean, I can understand why House Minority Leader, and Chief Trump bootlicker Kevin McCarthy doesn't want a commission. To look into this, because he'd be the second witness called after the Vikings horn guy, the guy with the horns. Whatever.
I don't trust that guy. I don't trust anybody with horns on his head. I just can't trust that guy.
Well, yes. Thank you for that.
Did you not see the video of the guys that were pulling, bricks? They were stored in the sides.
Policemen out and hitting them over the head with Trump flags. Yeah, I saw that. For sure. I heard the policeman on CNN talk about getting this close to being killed. But anyway, I was going to talk about Mitch McConnell too, because he's a big flip-flopper on this, as you know that.
Well, he is.
He is a flip-flopper.
He is. I'll give you that.
And lastly, let me just say this to you Trump supporters. I'm talking to you, Angel, here. And let's just say, if a day too many tourists converged, on the Capitol at once, and a spontaneous riot ensued. Your Dave's going to come yourself. Maybe Donald Trump Jr. is elected in, say, 2032. And some people might not be happy about it, and maybe those darn Antifas or Sandinistas, I don't know, they might bring like way smarter plans, to maybe to pull a riot out and maybe successfully overthrow an election. So
I'll tell you
what you want to normalize, okay? Because it could come back to bite you. That's all I got.
Well, I'll tell you what. If Donald Trump Jr. runs, he's got my vote.
Mine too. Mine too.
That's right.
After President Trump serves another 4 years.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Senior first, junior second.
All right. That's Let's move on. Let's close this damn show.
Yeah. Let's end this, guys. Because honestly, right now, I feel that I need to go in and watch some Donald Trump videos just to get my morale up. I mean, this is it's just, Gerald, I know you know what I'm saying. I mean, this is just a little bit too taxing on the mind to have to hear all this slander against literally the greatest commander-in-chief we've ever had. Well, right now we have a burglar and thief at the White House. It's it's shenanigans, my friends, shenanigans, and I shall not stand for it as long as I'm alive. We're going to have words because I stand with Donald Trump.
Me too, and it would be great to have his positivity again. And you know what? I got to tell you, I've loved this show and the message we're getting out, but I feel I would have liked more time to express myself on this episode, as I was able to get in a few points, but maybe in the future, both of you guys could allow me to elaborate a little bit further on my standpoint.
I don't know, 500,000% more time here than on our show, and you want more? I mean, see, this justifies. Angel, you got to get my back on this. This justifies why I keep a muzzle on you as co-host. It's because nothing's going to please you now, short of Angel and I getting fired and you having the show all to yourself.
Here's the thing. I mean, we know that me and Spud are the host, and Gerald, you should be happy. You're finally an official temporary co-host on one show, and you're officially a temporary co-host on this show. Officially now.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Listen, I don't know.
One day you'll be the full host on your own show. Maybe on a show.
Don't be telling them that. Don't be leading them on.
That's my goal. And I don't know if you two picked
bad
up.
Move. Bad.
I don't know if you picked up, Spud, on the following.
Brother.
That thank you, Angel. I'm developing a following. After our first episode of Rabbit Punched, I was buried in messages on my Facebook page. Everybody is wanting to add me as a friend, and they're asking for my advice and just generally wanting to jump in on the Gerald Holcomb train. And I got to tell you, it was so encouraging after my many years of obscurity on the Spud Goodman show. With this second episode now done, I got to admit, it's a little bit scary for me.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Pissing our pants yet?
I wouldn't wet your pants yet. Okay, a couple of friend requests on Facebook doesn't mean you'll soon be needing a personal security detail. All right, give it a few more episodes, and you're going to be losing those 70 or 80 friends that you have now.
Gerald, that's awesome, and I'm sure one day you're going to get to a lot more friends, and you're going to be right there with us, my friend.
Thank you,
guys. That's all I got. I'm out of here. This has been a lot of fun. You guys are awesome. Stay awesome. And remember, the midterm elections are coming soon, and we got to vote more Republicans in. Just keep that in mind. I'm out. Goodbye, everybody.
Yeah, I kind of got to go, too. I am Spud Goodman. Be all that you can be, and I mean that. God bless and ciao. Later.
Oh, okay. They're gone. Now, I guess I'll sign off. I just want to say that I am right now accepting more Facebook friends. I don't know what the limit is on friends. So I may have to cap it at like 250 or so. I don't really know. Well, anyway, until then, I am Gerald Holcomb. Let's do this again. Until next time, goodbye.
You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier.